Marvel Contest of Champions time, brought to you by the letter T for teeny tiny tote bag. And yes, if you want to find out more information about this little tote bag, this was in an opening video, which is on the channel. The link is in the description. It's the first link if you want to find out more about this. But in all seriousness, I haven't covered Marvel Contest of Champions for a couple of days because of World Cup and family commitments and other stuff. So let's dive into Marvel Contest of Champions news, because there's some articles we need to cover. So our first story, and as you well know, we had an issue last week with the game not logging in. I woke up, I think it was either Saturday morning, and I couldn't get into the game. A lot of people experienced this. Whatever time zone you were in, you found that you couldn't get into the game. In this time frame that the game was down, Kabam, Mike, as well as Adora got into the forums and started chatting with people, and it was pretty cool. I can't find the actual forum post itself, but this was kind of like a big change. And they were talking about personal stuff, that things they like, and at the same time really talking to people about the state of affairs of the game, getting feedback, which I thought was pretty cool. However, that doesn't excuse this fact that yes, with the servers down, people weren't able to grind. There's certain things that affected, especially Arena. But the main thing to really point out is obviously players are looking for compensation for that loss of time. And there was something called Gift Ideas, was set up as a forum post, which I believe was a merged post, which got a little bit of attraction to it. And at the same time, it gave people an idea that at the start of this week, so hence today, we should be hearing about what compensation would be good for the community that suffered as a result of not being able to get into the game. At the point of recording this video, we still haven't heard what the outline of that compensation will be. Hopefully we hear back shortly, within the next 12 to 14 hours, that we can really get an idea of what's happening before people have to go to sleep for their different time zones. Keep locked to Marvel Contest of Champions news, because we will be covering this when it eventually gets announced. Next up, and this is kind of a further point from that video, or kind of Marvel Contest of Champions news I covered about the misleading crystal. If you remember, the bloodletting crystal announced certain champions within it which didn't appear in the reel for the crystal itself. A lot of players did feel that this was misadvertising, and they felt very strongly, to a point that they then got in contact with Kabam and said, we want compensation. Now, some people were told that they were going to get it, and in this particular forum post, you're going to see certain things where they've contacted them saying about the money back. However, though, Kabam did put something in a previous post where they said they weren't going to offer any kind of compensation or even refund, essentially. Get my words out. Refund was the main thing that they were looking to achieve, and unfortunately Kabam said at the time they weren't going to do that, so there may be a change of heart with this. This person that did the post is called Fixit Mob. He runs an alliance and has a bit of a love interest with, well, not love interest, but he has a bit of a fascination with Joe Fixit. Funny enough, obviously his emblem is Joe Fixit, and he must be a big fan of that particular character. And there are fans of certain characters which we wouldn't go, oh, I'm not a fan of that one. It's a bit too mainstream, and people then like these kind of obscure ones, which again is quite cool. So he really was looking to have that 5-star Joe Fixit, which it did seem that he could actually be put into this reel, but wasn't. Moving on to Arena results. This brought a lot of surprises this weekend and was a really decent opportunity to pick up some 5-star and 6-star shards pretty darn easily for your grind. And then obviously if you're looking this week to grind out, this again is a really good opportunity. So the big shocker is Goldpool went for over 15 million, nearly 400,000. So that is quite low. I wouldn't say this was overly affected by the downtime. I think it was largely affected by people that had pulled him in that particular gold crystal, or Goldpool crystal, fool's gold crystal, whatever you want to call it. And the other aspect is that there was a pretty less than satisfactory types of champions that were there, except for MODOK. Okay, MODOK was the exception here. So MODOK in the basic went for 2.7 mil. I think I did my prediction. I think I said 2.4 to 2.7 mil, but 3 mil to be safe. I felt I was pretty much on point with that one. Way off. I was way off with the Goldpool Arena, but that one again was so hard to pinpoint what that was meant to be. And as well, looking at Ant-Man, Ant-Man went a little bit more higher than I thought he would go. I thought he would have gone for at least about 16 mil, but 17.7 It's not ridiculous for a champion that is not overly usable in a lot of content, but it did mean that people were able to pick up a good amount of 5-star shards. So a good chunk picked up for what's that, 9 mil, so that's pretty good. As well, we've got Ant-Man, the 4-star version, going for just over the milestones at 4.7. So yeah, if you did, make sure just do the milestones at 4 mil, like, you know. Otherwise, 4.7 mil, you're going to get him, unless you really want him. So it's up to you for that grind. Either way, I don't see MODOK going any higher. I think he'd probably go anything about 4 mil to maybe about 2.6 mil. I don't think it's going to go anything like higher for that one. And then Ant-Man, again, similar thing. If you wanted to grind him out just for your awakening, because, you know, you want a 5-star or something, you want to awaken, then you can do by that. Going back to yesterday, this post came up and a lot of people do feel the same about the Goldpool Arena. The fact is, the milestones didn't actually seem that good to grind out. Now, I don't know why that was. Obviously, that's up to Kabam's interest, whether or not they're putting in something with a lot more milestones. Because let's face it, we didn't really know how this particular arena was going to go, whether or not it would shoot up to at least about 60 mil, which now obviously seems a bit ridiculous. However, at the time, no one really knew how he would fall with people's grinds and intentions, and it seemed obviously that wasn't the case. People weren't interested. However, though, having to put in about 15 mil, you'd expect a lot more for the milestones, which a lot of players in this particular post did feel very strongly against. Now, whatever your feeling is about Goldpool as a champion, whether or not you think he's a good champion or you think he's an average champion, the fact is, people wanted a lot more from that milestone grind, and they were left a little bit disappointed with it. They didn't really kind of cotton on to the rank rewards, thinking that they weren't exactly the best for them. Either way, your thoughts on this in the forum post or in the comment section with regards to, is the Goldpool Arena not like hitting the mark with milestones? Next up, I just want to cover stuff for 4th of July. A lot of players have come to me and said about, you know, what's going to be the offer? What do you think is going to be the offer for the 4th of July? And the answer is, I don't really know. Some have said they'd really like to see a generic awakening gem. I don't know, again, if Kabam would look to do that because it's such a coveted item. They may opt for doing class specific kind of purchase, which is usually about £99, 99 in the UK. Obviously, it would be whatever it is in your respective countries, but the most expensive unit based purchase or separate based purchase to that. Either way, it's going to be quite expensive. However, though, like I said, like I want to reiterate, I don't know what the plan is for that. Will they do something for the 4th of July? I don't know. I thought they would have done something because the Kabam office are, you know, functioning out of Vancouver. They do something for Canada Day, and happy Canada Day to all you lovely people in Canada. But I thought they would have done something for that. So do we know whether or not something's going to be done for the 4th of July? Again, I really don't know. Pushes have been on forum posts for things like generic, as I said. I think that if they do it, they won't do something amazing, and it more than likely will be a 5-star awakening crystal. So that may be an option for people. And our final story, and to kind of end on a laugh, there's been this little post about the sausage that's being shoved into Massacre's face. So I haven't really noticed this. On the crystal, for the domino crystal, there's this thing, but like I'm assuming it's a corn dog that's being shoved into the face of Massacre. Someone says it's like a honey sausage or something. It's really odd, but this is the thing. People are interested on what's the significance. They're saying like, well, does like Domino like barbecue? Does like Massacre like barbecue? I don't know. It's a honey dripped sausage or corn dog in the face of Massacre. I don't know why we take it so seriously, but hey ho, that's it. Oh, actually, I tell a lie. This is actually our final post of today that we're going to cover, and it is the motion comic for the new Ant-Man and Wasp event. I must say, of all the kind of ones that they've done, I really like this one. It's probably one of my favorite ones. There's like just the interaction's good, and it also ends on a funny gag, so I'm not going to spoil it. You can go along to this and check out the gag yourself. There it is. I loved it. So that's been Marvel Contest of Champions news. Now, I haven't been live streaming yesterday or even the day before, but just to let you know that tomorrow, so Tuesday, 2200 hours GMT, I'm going to be doing a live stream crystal opening. I'm going to open my 5-star awakening gem crystal. I'm also going to be opening 5 5-stars and 1 5-star featured crystal. I'm going to do a 5-star featured crystal. I didn't think I'd do that at all. I've been, for a good chunk of this year, last 6 months, I've been away from doing any kind of featured because I haven't agreed with them at all. So this is going to be, it's a big deal for me doing this one. But I had some extra shards left over and I thought, hey, well, I've just completed 5.4, so of Act 5.4. So I thought, hey, you know, I'll do a bigger opening. I'm going to wait a little while for people to arrive and then start doing the crystal opening. And if you want to have an idea of what that is in your respective country and time zone, hopefully this here gives you an idea of what the time is. So like I said, 2200 hours GMT time breaks down at these different times here. So hopefully you can be about. If you can't, I will be taking that stream and just re-uploading it. It may be the day after, or maybe like chopping it up so it like looks a little bit better and kind of like feels a little bit better for you guys to watch. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy that stream when it goes live. So if you can make it, that would be great, and we can have a bit of fun at the same time. I'll try and get some guests as well. So that has indeed been Marvel Contest Champions News. Thank you for your support for the channel and the news. If you have any stories, then send them to the business email address. I'll probably change that so it doesn't say business anymore, but people do like to send me stuff, and it's happy. If you want to talk privately, then you can do as well. Join the live streams and yeah, hit notifications on, subscribe, like, and as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.